Hey everyone, Chris Schuman here. Just wanted to tell you about my experience with the Smolov Squat Cycle. Didn't see a whole lot of information on YouTube as far as people explaining how things went with their routine, problems they may have had, any changes that they made to the program. There were a number of videos showing people doing each of the routines each day, but not a whole lot of discussion on YouTube, so I thought I would add this and hopefully help a few people out. I know when I was wanting to start this program, I was looking for information. I did find some information on some blog sites, but again, not a whole lot on YouTube. So anyway, the program calls for an introductory microcycle of about 2 weeks. This is recommended particularly if you had not done squats for a while, or at least hadn't done anything very heavy. I had just recently set a new squat max of 430 prior to starting this program, so I thought for myself, since I was basically in peak condition already, that I would just kind of pick and choose some of the things that they recommended for the introductory microcycle, which basically I just picked lunges and tire jumps up onto a tractor tire, something that when it was down on its side was probably thigh height, something like that. And let's see, it also called for the first week of the introductory microcycle, called for a 3-day program where on the 3rd day you worked up to 90% of your current max for 1. So I just made sure that I was able to do that, which I was. I just picked that day 3 program, ran through that, skipped the first and second days. Then during week 2, it called for you to work up to 1 set of 5 in the 80 to 85 percentile range. So I picked the 85% weight and was able to hit that for 5. So felt then that I was ready to go ahead and progress with the program and with the Base Mesocycle. Depending on what site you get this program from, the site that I copied it down from, or at least noticed at first and started thinking about doing it based off of that website, called for something called a protyashka or something like that. I decided not to do that. Hadn't really heard of one, and it seemed a little bit complicated anyway, so I just ended up skipping that. So starting off week 1, everything went pretty well, pretty smoothly. Started in on Monday with the 4 sets of 9, and felt after each set that I probably could have got a couple of more reps if I needed to. And it was basically the same case for the Wednesday workout and the Friday workout. However, when the Saturday workout came around, not having a day of rest in between from the last squat workout for the first time was rough. It was pretty grueling that day. I really had to have a lot of willpower just to make sure I got through it all. But I was able to do it. And just something of note, as far as my other lifts, I know, again, depending on what website you look at, some recommend not doing any deadlifting during the course of this program. The site that I had seen and copied down my information from didn't say anything about deadlifting, so I just went ahead and my usual routine, at least during the first 4 weeks of the program, I would bench first on Mondays before doing my squat routine. I rested on Tuesdays, did the recommended squats on Wednesdays, did like log press and shoulders on Thursdays. Fridays I did my squats first and then did deadlifts after my squat routine, and then Saturdays I just did the squats, and Sundays rested. So then getting into week 2, things went a little more smoothly all the way through. The 20-pound jump didn't bother me. Saturday workout, I think my body had gotten accustomed enough to the load and routine that it was not as grueling. Made it through it okay. Week 3, just went up another 10 pounds and everything went pretty well. For my max week, Monday I went ahead and just kept with bench, worked up to something heavy. Then Tuesday I did some heavy deadlifts, and then and then just rested Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and went for a new max on Saturday, which ended up, I just did some warm-up sets, did 135 for 5, 225 for 3, 315 for 2, and then went up, hit 405 for a single, then went to 455 after that, which was a 25-pound PR for me. Hit that, went up pretty smoothly, and went ahead and put on 475, and that went up as well. So very nice 45-pound PR for just really 3 weeks of the program, and then that week of rest. So that was awesome. Then during the course of the 2-week switching mesocycle, I didn't do a whole lot of squatting. I tried negative squats for the first time. Wasn't exactly sure what I was doing, but I ended up working up to 275 and 300 for, well, 2 sets of the 275 and 1 set with 300 for 5 each, and those were really hard. I did probably about an 8-second descent, and then had a spotter help me back up to the top in between reps. So those are very hard. I also did a day where I did some combination of whole squats and jump squats with 185 on the bar. And if you're not familiar with whole squats, it's kind of a lift that I kind of came up with. You can see a couple other videos on my channel about those. I did, a session of speed squats with working up to 245 for 6 sets of 3, just not going all the way down, just it recommends starting from your sticking point, where the point in your lift, where if you were to do a full squat, you come back up, about the point where you might fail most of the time. So I did that, and then I also threw in some more tire jumps. Then getting back into the second mesocycle, Intense Mesocycle I think is what it was called. Week 1, let's see, again I was doing bench beforehand. Remember that was a particularly long day, and yeah, just getting into, I guess, the more intense squats where the percentages are higher, and also they are based off of your new squat max. Found these to be considerably harder than the first mesocycle, and ended up getting my first failed rep on the last rep that I was supposed to do. Which ended up being, I was supposed to get 405 for 3 sets of 4 and 1 set of 5, and I only got 4 on the last set. So I was slightly discouraged by that. Up to that point I hadn't had any fails, but then I went on to the Wednesday workout, and again that was still hard. I managed to get through it all without any fails. Got through the Saturday okay, again still hard. Got to the Monday workout of the second week, and again called for me to get up to 430 for 1 set of 3 and 2 sets of 4. However, I was not able to manage the 2 sets of 4. I just only got a set of 3 on each of those. At this point in the program, I was feeling pretty beat up. I mean, I was basically sore throughout this whole program, but I ended up having an issue with my upper left arm here. I think maybe had something to do with just getting it back in that awkward position, you know, so frequently, and with so heavy weights all the time, just kind of pinning it back there. But anyway, so that was bothering me, and you know, my hips were just sore all the time. So I had some thoughts about possibly stopping the program at that point. Didn't really want to do that, really was wanting to see it through, but wasn't sure what the best thing was going to be for me to do, but ended up thinking of the idea of just taking off 10 pounds of each of the recommended weights and trying to go from there, which ended up working out for me. So Wednesday, it had called for me to get up to 430 again for 3 sets of 3, and I ended up reducing that to 420 and managed that all right. Hi, Gracie. Everyone, this is Gracie. Then went ahead and used that same strategy, just took off 10 pounds for the Saturday workout. So worked up to 420 instead of the 430 for 4 sets of 5. Then got back around to Monday of the 3rd week, and let's see, yeah, just did the same thing, took off 10 pounds, and things were going well enough on the final sets that I ended up just taking off 5 pounds on my last set and bumped it up to 425 instead of the 420 or the 430, which was actually recommended. Then on Wednesday, things just started feeling pretty good, so went ahead and for the last set worked up to just the recommended weight, which was 450. Then, let's see here, that Saturday, then worked up 450 for 4 sets of 3. And let's see. Then on the Monday of the 4th week, I was supposed to do 430 for 5 sets of 5, and I wasn't keeping track, marking down my sets. Pretty sure that I actually did an extra set. However, I only managed 4 on that set, failed on the last rep. And I think my failure was due, I've got a Velcro belt that I was using, and it blew out on the last rep, so kind of tossed me forward more than what I could handle. Then after that, let's see, Wednesday went okay. Saturday, the website that I copied down the program from, well, let me back up a second. The website that I initially found the Smolov program on had saved my favorites. Well, our computer got a virus, crashed, had to get a new computer. When I went to look for that website again, I couldn't find it, and so I went ahead and copied down the second part of the program from a different website, some website on Blogspot, and on that one it had the final sets working up to, let's see here, working up to, he had 80% for 4 sets of 4, which worked out to be 380 for me. And so I was all coming into that day with the mindset of, this is going to be kind of a break, from all this really heavy stuff. And so then I just happened to look up some other Smolov program websites and found one that looked exactly the same, although it had a different web address as the one I had first found it on. And that called for you to work up to 95%, which would have been 450 for me for 3 sets of 4, which I hadn't yet done a set of 4 with 450, and so I found that out just a couple hours before I was supposed to work out, and that really kind of threw me for a loop mentally. I was just expecting kind of an easier, almost a deload type of week, and then come to find out, hey, I'm supposed to do something that I haven't done yet, something really hard. So debated on what I should do, if I should stick with what I had written down from that other website, or if I should try and go for the 95% for 3 sets of 4. So I ended up blending the two, working up doing 1 set of the 95% or 450 for 1 set of 4, which surprisingly went well for me. And then I did 3 sets of 4 at 380. So kind of mixed the two. Then during the week leading up to my max, let's see, Tuesday I did squats, just worked up to 405 for 1 set of 4. The program suggests 4 sets of 4, but I also wanted to throw in some heavy deficit deadlifts on that day, so just kind of scrubbed the other 3 sets of 4. Thought that would be okay. Then just rested Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday I warmed up the same way as my previous max attempt. Did 135 for a set of 5, 225 for a set of 3, 315 for a set of 2, and then hit 405 for a single, 455 for another single, and then was able to hit 500. So, that was a real nice number. Was from the start of the program, that was what I was hoping to be able to hit by the end of it, and it went up decently well. I thought possibly I could have had another 10 pounds, but I was real happy with the 500 pounds. So that was a total increase from before I started the program of 70 pounds. So I had just hit PR of 430 before starting this. So all in all, very happy with the results I got. If I were to do it again, any changes or anything that I might do would be, seeing as how the second half of the program seemed a good deal harder to me, and the gains, although still quite good, 25 pounds over the course of 4 or 5 weeks, still didn't match up, at least in my mind, to the first half of the program, which called for 3 weeks of hard work, and then rest up for your max on the 4th week. And I ended up getting 45 pounds off of that versus 25 pounds for the second part. So I probably will return to this, but just do the first part of the program, the Base Mesocycle. That seemed to deliver the best results, and actually didn't seem as difficult. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I would love to answer them. Alright, thanks for watching, and hope this helps out. See you. Oh, one other thing. So in total, I spent, not including the introductory microcycle, which I just kind of picked and chose and messed around with, took about 11 weeks, and my body weight increased by about 15 pounds. I gained about 1.25 inches of size on each thigh, and yeah, then again ended up total 70-pound increase over that time. So real happy with that. And also including all my warm-ups and the squats and everything I did during the switching mesocycle, starting from the Monday of the base mesocycle, for me, I ended up doing 1,003 squats in total over the course of the whole program. So just to give you a little bit of an idea. So, okay, thanks for watching.